Hey YouTube, this is Scarecrow Kaiser here. I'm going to be doing a deck profile, trying out the camera on my iPad, see how good it works out. Alright, this is going to be a dragon deck profile, but probably very different from what you would expect to see out of a generic dragon deck. This is not generic. I went to mess around with dragons recently, and there was a aspect of them that I was trying out that I really liked. So I started out by making the deck like a third of the deck dedicated to that like combo. And it worked really good. It's like, oh, I want to make the deck more involved with this, so like 2/3 of the deck got involved with that kind of strategy, and I was like, oh wow. Whenever I do this, it wins. So then I moved on, and now the deck is like 100% dedicated to the concept of using viruses with the dragons. This is like a virus dragon deck, I guess. It's very different from most dragon decks, and this deck can be very, very good. If this deck goes first, there's a really good chance it can win. Usually if the deck pulls off a virus, it almost always wins. Very seldom has it actually lost when pulling off a virus. It's from everything from plants, samurais, etc. All those decks, this deck does really good against them. It's something I would consider playing in a tournament, honestly. It's done that well. Yeah, I guess I'll get through it. There are 15 monsters, only 15. I think there's 15. Let's go through them. We got, obviously, 3 Rise Darkness Metal, the obvious heart of the deck. 3 Wyverns to summon him. With 1 Prime Material Dragon, you only really need the 1. First you get this guy out, and then you summon this thing, and then you're basically bulletproof. We got 3 Malefic Stardust Dragon. The deck has a field card in it that you pretty much always have, so that makes this thing easier to drop. And being so easy to drop, and being so big and dark, it's a virus target, so makes the virus more easily droppable. And one question someone may ask is, why use this over like a Cyber End? Because it's bigger. The deck plays Future Fusion, so sometimes you might need these extra dragons for the Future Fusion to go off. Yeah. 1 Axe Dragonoot. I tried a couple other things, like 1 Mirage Dragon stuff, for when I lock my opponent down, and I could use Mirage Dragon to hold off those traps that I know they have. But this guy's play tested the most consistently because he's virusable. And then 1 MJ. It's a good card, obviously. If you get a bad hand, you start losing, use it to come back, and you may wonder why I'll play a card like this in such a control type deck if this deck's all dedicated to the virus. What do you care if they're drawing cards when they're under virus? You're looking at every card they're drawing, and those cards are blowing up. I play tested at first having Totem and Lad in it, because it seemed like a really good combo to have a virus go off, and then once they start to come back, you could drop a Lad. They have to fight off that left, the few cards they have, and it seemed better than it turned out to be. Wearing the Totem Dragons and Lion Darkness turned out to be inconsistent, so staple spells, I guess. Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Triple Pot of Duality. This is a combo deck, obviously, so digging for those viruses is pretty good. I know the no special summon hurts a lot. It holds you back often from being able to pull off a virus right away, but waiting a turn is a lot better than not having it at all. we have triple terraforming. Triple might seem like overkill, but once you get your combos off and stuff, it doesn't really matter. 3 for the 3 Dragoony Ravine, and as I said, it doesn't really matter having 3 terraformings. Worst case scenario, you discard them with a Ravine. Ravine you're using to get your Wyverns and Red Eyes, Darkness Metal in the grave. Like first turn play, discard a Red Eyes to discard a Red Eyes, end phase, revive them. Tribute them on their opponent's turn for the virus. Future Fusion, Av, best card ever for dragons. Traps, Staples, Trenchel, the Solemn Brigade. Onto the viruses. 3 Epidemic. May seem like overkill, but it really isn't. I started out being conservative with the viruses and bumped them up all the way to 3. And 3 deck devs, obviously. So 6 viruses in the deck. A really good chance you'll be able to get off a first turn virus with this deck, and that's why the deck's so good. 2 Mind Crush, obvious reasons. You're looking at your opponent's hand, blowing up their shit, and using this to kill their last few key cards that you know they have. Trap Dust Shoot, obviously, you know what this does. These 2 cards. 2 Call the Haunted, last cards in the deck. Use these for your Red Eyes. Sometimes you want to be able to virus your opponent more than once, like you have 2 viruses, you end phase revive a Red Eyes, on their turn you virus them, and you call on their turn and virus with a different virus. Or sometimes you just can't get the Red Eyes onto your field during your turn because you had to play pot. So you set the call, as soon as they start your turn, revive your Red Eyes, and then you can virus. I wouldn't go through the extra deck, there's no point, you don't really ever synchro. Obviously you're going to need like 3 Stardust for this guy. Yeah, the deck's really good and really cheap. I'll try to get videos of it up so you can see it in action. But this deck is actually very fun and pretty good. Like, I really like this deck. Yeah. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, either way. I don't care. Comment on it. If you try it out, let me know what you think of it, etc. Thanks.